fucking hell. Welcome. Who the hell are you guys?
Well, we are Slag. That's S-L-A-G, Slag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Out of where?
Montevideo, and our bass player here is from Minneapolis.
Okay.
I'm from Montevideo, but I moved here.
Okay. You moved closer to civilization, huh?
Yeah, where there's like people and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
Not just a bunch of cornfields and soybeans.
Yeah, exactly.
But the rest of you all still live out in Montevideo area?
Currently.
Yeah. How far is that? How far is it to drive to get into the cities?
Like the 3-hour drive.
Is that right?
For
Yeah,
2.5, yeah.
Wow.
Like
2.5, 3 hours.
Video.
Depends, because like I live in Canby, Minnesota, which is even further than Montevideo. So for me to drive straight from Canby to like the Twin Cities, traffic dependent, it's like 3.5 to 4 hours from where I live.
Wow. That's you got to be committed, man. To be, be in a band and want to play in the cities and get out there.
Yep.
Basically, anywhere we want to play, we're going to have to drive 2 hours.
Yeah.
If we were going to have like a
St. Cloud being like the closest place.
Yeah, St. Cloud's, and that's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's some serious dedication. Why do you guys do it?
Because I love
For the
playing
love
music.
of music.
Love of the
dude.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just awesome being up there.
Nice. I mean, so you guys, I haven't heard you. I assume you're a heavier band, but you're a heavy band from Montevideo. Does anybody out there listen to your music? We have
some fans in our area, like not like a bunch, but yes, we do have some fans out in our area.
A lot of the people out there tend to prefer like country music.
Or cover bands,
Or cover bands, yeah.
unfortunately.
They love cover bands out there.
Yeah.
Especially the ones who play all the old classic rock classics, the same 20 or so classic rock songs that bands like that tend to cover.
That you've heard 1,000 times before.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm sure you guys have seen that, like that list that, like where the song request list, like where the people put like, this one is like $100 if you want me to play it. This one's like $300.
That's
Like free birds, like $500 because everybody yells free bird, right? Yeah. Fill up my tip jar. I'll do anything you want.
Yep.
Nice. So you guys just played a show last night, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Tell me about the show.
Well, it was for a memorial show for our friend Jim Odegaard, who was the singer of a band down here called Disturbed. Not the
Not that one.
not that Disturbed, but like that's Disturbed from Minneapolis. And he was, like I said, he's from the town I lived in, and he was like a big mentor for me in my 20s and stuff for metal. He showed me some really cool bands, taught me like what the cool bands were, because at the time I was into, I don't know, new metal kind of stuff that was cool at the time. Maybe more metalcore stuff like Shadows Fall, Killswitch Engage. But he's like, here's some really, really cool bands like Carcass and stuff. So, yeah, he's a big influence. And when he passed away last year, it was pretty hard for a little while, and I didn't get to do the first memorial show he had. And now this is the one we played last night, like a year to the anniversary after his death. So our buddy Josh Kellerman, who was friends with Jim too, got us on here. Got some other cool death metal bands on. We're not even death metal, but he got us with death metal bands. And we had the show last night, and it was lots of fun.
Nice. So how would you describe your sound?
For us, we usually struggle with trying to describe our sound, but we did have a journalist come out to a show, and in his little article about the show that night, he described us as like party style thrash, which is fairly accurate, but at the same time, I feel like that doesn't like 100% hit the nail on the head.
It's like thrash, but you could shake your booty cheeks? What does party style thrash mean exactly?
A lot of our songs
You guys are just having a lot of fun up there?
Yeah, a lot of our songs are just satirical, like there's a couple of them that like actually have like some meaning behind them, but otherwise,
Just nonsense lyrics.
a lot of the times we just like to go up there and have fun, so our songs are just going to be about silly things.
Okay. Awesome. Well, before we get too much further in, why don't we just go around the room and you guys tell me who you are, like what you do in the band?
All right.
Let's start over here.
I'm Eric. I play the lead guitar. I write lyrics and riffs and arrange too.
Nice.
So, and sometimes if the drummer doesn't like it, I write his drum parts.
I'm Ike. I play the bass and all that other stuff too, but not as much as him. And I also came up with the name of the band.
Nice. Well, if you play bass, you can't annoy the drummer as much. It's just like
Yeah, no,
you
we
to be able
have
to
that.
locked in, right?
We have that symbiosis.
He's our translator between the guitar player and the drummer.
Nice.
I'm Levi, and I'm the lead singer.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's literally it.
I don't do much.
He helps carry stuff.
Yeah. He's the
That's good. A lead singer that actually helps carry shit is
Yeah.
is a rarity in itself.
Valuable. Yeah.
I gotta make up for the lack of the other shit.
Okay, I yell at things and carry things. What else do you need?
right. And then I'm Roth. I'm the rhythm guitar player in the band. Would like to say that I'm like a composer of music, but like I haven't brought like full music to the table yet, so I don't get to proclaim that yet.
Okay.
But I do have some songs in the work for this particular band. It's just we've been struggling with like getting together and trying to finish our most recent song because we wanted to have that ready for the Odegaard show last night. It felt very fitting with everything that's going on in Minneapolis right now. So our big push was to get Eric's newest song like fully completed.
Well, tell me more about that. Like, what's the song and what's the meaning of the song and why does it kind of fit into what's going on right now? I don't want to get too deep into politics. It's not the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
But we do live in an environment where shit is happening.
Yeah.
So
Well, like
it's-
like I said, we're like a satirical band, but you know, I being a music writer, it's like I want to write a song that's not satirical and has a little more of a political message, if you want to call it that. I'm gonna fucking do it. So I was actually kind of inspired about that CEO who got shot by that guy. And, you know, I thought about it and I'm like, well, you know, they tell us violence isn't the answer. But for me, everybody in power or whatnot says that, but then they actually do the opposite. And then they code it up with like, you know, legally they'll pass it through like the legislature or something. It'll be dressed up in fancy words, but what it really is just violence against the people. So I thought, I'm like, I don't know, man. They say all that stuff, but maybe sometimes violence is the answer. And that's how the song came about. And it's mostly about defending yourself. It's not saying going out there and just hurt people, but it's like when people push you too much, you got to fight back.
Sure.
Basically, that's what it is. You know, there's a line in the song called they want us dead, so let's fight them bastards. You know, and that's kind of what it is, a song about like self-defense and self-preservation. And like everything like going down here in the cities too, you know, and not only is it Minneapolis, I mean, it's going all over the state too. More prevalent down here in Minneapolis, but you know, people all over the state of Minnesota are getting disappeared and fucked with and having their rights trampled on. And, you know, and it's, thought I'd say something, and I think that's part of activism too, is not just going out there and protesting, which is great, but like going out there and playing with your band and spreading your message, that's also part of activism. And, you know, I feel proud to be part, even though I'm not from Minneapolis, I feel proud to be part of the community and the music scene. I made a lot of friends down here, and I got family down here, and, you know, I love the people down here. They treat me right, and they're all cool people. Love hanging out with them, seeing familiar faces last night at the show. You know, that's to me, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, awesome, man. So that's one song and that you were inspired to write. But tell me, like, how do you get inspired most of the time? Like, what's, you know, take me back maybe to young you and like what inspired you to get into music in the first place? And we'll go around the table and we'll start over here.
Well, when I was real young, like the first band that I ever like really fell in love with was Guns N' Roses.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that was like 94, 95.
Why?
And I don't know. I had like, my brother had the Appetite for Destruction on tape, and my older brother, we're all three brothers right here.
Is that
All three
right?
of us, yeah.
Yep.
three of us
Okay.
brothers. And he had that on tape, and you know, I listened to it, and I thought it was awesome, and so I had more Guns N' Roses albums, and like Slash was like my favorite guitar player, and it's like, oh man, I want to play guitar. And after my grandpa passed away, I got one of his electric guitars, and I kind of like here and there, I played, and you know, and it got hard, so I quit. But it wasn't actually till I was like 18 and out of high school where I actually sat down and like played, practiced and played, learned the chords, learned the things, and got decent at it. I was in a few bands here and there, nothing real serious, all basically cover stuff, but this band basically started because I was playing bass in another band, but I wanted to play guitar. I'm not a bass player, I'm a guitar player. So I got him aboard, and we jammed out some songs, and then I guess with like the lyric content when it came to writing, it's I like to have fun, so I wanted to be able to style that through my music too. I have like a sense, it's like if we're up there and we're singing about having fun and we're having fun, I think the crowd will have fun. And so far, I mean, it's proven mostly true. So like when I come with a song, it's like, let's not take it too serious. I focus on the riffs, making it sound cool, making it sound catchy, trying to come up with a certain structure to it. But then like the lyrics can come later, and I try to make it about something fun, good example, like Cuban Missile Dino Crisis is a song that we have. It's a song we wrote before this one. And I was thinking of the game Dino Crisis, and then for some reason the Cuban Missile Crisis popped up in my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write a song about both those two put together.
Wow.
So it's the Cuban Missile Crisis, but with dinosaurs. And that's exactly what the song is. Yeah.
Sounds pretty wild.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, Ike, how did you get inspired to get into music?
Well, my older brother, pretty much, I was always into music. I started playing piano when I was 7. I didn't get into metal until I was about 11 years old, and it was because of him. He got me a Slipknot Volume 3 of the Subliminal Verses. He got that for me for my birthday, and I started listening to that. And yeah, Slipknot was the first band I ever got into. And then, not long after, I started getting into Tool and Pantera and all those kinds of bands. And, it went from there. And now I listen to a whole lot of stuff. And yeah, let's see, I started playing bass when I was 13. Yeah, I started playing in middle school. I played a little bit for the jazz band. I even played some for just like the pep band. But yeah, I definitely wasn't very good at it back then. So it wasn't until I was like about 20, right? Yeah, somewhere around there, 2021, we decided to start this band. And yeah, this was actually my first band. And yeah, it was 2016 when we started. So, geez, 10 years already.
I was going to ask how old the band is.
Yeah.
That's not a young band. That's you guys are putting the time already. That's awesome.
Well, we had some hiccups along the way. We're on our third drummer and our third guitarist. We started out as a 3-piece. It was just Eric and me and a friend of ours at the time. Yeah, I don't know. that didn't work out. Some things happened. There was some drama here and there, and eventually we moved on to our second drummer, Nick. And there's no bad blood there. He was always reliable. He was always a very reliable drummer. Definitely good at what he did. But he had some personal stuff going on, so he had to quit. And then now Eli, he's the only band member who isn't here today. He's just a beast on the drums.
Thank God. I don't know what I would have done if you brought the drummer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to squeeze this all in here, but yeah, maybe he'd have to sit in my lap or something for this.
Yeah.
He don't mind. He don't want the bass player to sit on his lap.
The old rhythm section sticking together.
There you go. Keep it in sync. Well, nice, man. Let's keep going. Roth, why don't we go with you, man?
Like, how did I get into music,
Yeah,
right?
some of those early inspirations, like what got you into music and what got you into this kind of music?
Legitimately, my dad was in bands like basically his whole life, right? So
Musical family. Huh?
I was his firstborn son. I'm named Roth after David Lee Roth, right? So like I am already like being bathed in this musical like lifestyle, right? So when I was 3, that was when my dad got my first drum set for me, started teaching me how to play the drums. Eventually, I started getting lessons from this dude named Kofi Baker, who is the son of Ginger Baker. If you don't know who that is, look him up sometime.
I do, yeah.
You actually do know
I
who
do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a drummer, so yeah.
Oh, what band is Ginger Baker in?
I couldn't tell you what band.
Cream.
Okay.
So I got lessons from his son when I was like 5 years old.
Wow. Okay.
I can hold a steady beat still to this day, but like when my mom and my dad split, like drums kind of like fell out of my life
Okay.
for like a long ass time. And so to get good at them again, I would probably need someone to sit down and like teach me some of the rudiments again and like some basic fills just so I can start getting comfortable again. But my freshman year in high school, that was when I got my first guitar. And a buddy of mine got a bass guitar. So I started teaching myself both the guitar and the bass my freshman year in high school, and I've just taken it from there. Influentially, again, just like Ike, the first band that I was ever like, this was something that wasn't from my parents, was Slipknot, and I fell in love. And this was when I was like 8 years old. So like my love for heavy music has just grown from there. And Slipknot's probably not even like the heaviest I would go because I can listen to some pretty gnarly death metal these days. I've been in bands since I was like, in the 8th grade? Just nothing super serious. I guess I wouldn't really say that I was in a serious band until I was 19, and I was the frontman of a thrash metal band in Winona, Minnesota for like 6 years. Eventually left that band, moved out to where we're all based out of.
I was going to say, were you in Montevideo, but playing in a band in Winona?
No. I lived in Winona. Eventually, my long-term plan was actually to move to Colorado.
Okay.
And pursue a music career in Colorado because I felt like I would do better, like trying to get on like a record label moving out there. But it didn't ever happen. Eventually, I actually wore this jacket to Casey's one day, and this motherfucker over here was just like, "Dude, nice jacket. We should hang out. We should jam." And like at that point in time, like I had so much going on in my life that like it didn't ever work out. Eventually, years down the road, he reached out and he was just like, "Hey man, you still looking to be in a band?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." Hoping maybe he was talking about Slag. No, he put me into this group chat to start like a cover band. Where I was like, all right, I got to start somewhere, right? Started this cover band, jamming with these dudes, played one show with Slag. Eventually, Harker asked me, he was like, "Dude, we need somebody to cover for a couple of shows. Do you think you could help me out?" I'm like, I am always going to say yes to playing a show. And these dudes taught me their music. Actually, Eric made Ike teach me all of the songs. Show up to practice hoping this dude would show me some of the riffs, and he's like, "Nope, Ike, as punishment, you're now teaching the new guy." Hey. And that was like a little...
Because he was supposed to teach the bass player we had fill in for him at one show. He was like, show him the songs, and he didn't.
Uh-huh.
And so our old
showed him
guitar
some of
player had to show him all the songs. So when he came into the band, because our old guitar player had to quit, had to step aside, I'm like, no, you got to teach him the songs.
Uh-huh.
Yes, because I can't always make it out there because it's a very far drive and I have a job.
Do you guys practice in Montevideo then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. As I mentioned, yeah, it's a serious commitment just going out to practice, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I try to make it out there as much as I can, but, sometimes it's hard, especially with the way things have been lately with my job. We got some new management, and they like to make us work on weekends.
Well, I'm glad you're not working this weekend.
Yeah,
It's good to have you guys
thankfully.
here in studio. But let's keep going around and get some early inspirations over here from the guy who both sings and carries things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your inspiration for carrying stuff?
Us
Not
telling
being
him
an
to carry
asshole and
stuff.
actually using
Yeah, having some kind of empathy towards having to get shit loaded and unloaded.
Never mind the fact that we were threatening him with beatings with guitars.
So that,
Yeah, so take me back to kind of some early inspirations.
well, I've always loved singing. Like one of the earliest memories of me singing was that song American Woman, but I changed the lyrics and I said naked woman instead. So naked woman walking down the street.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's like
And
Oh God.
I was getting laughs out of people, so I just kept going. But
how old were you then?
I was really young, 4, 5.
5 years old?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. And you're thinking about naked women, man. That's all right. That's pretty advanced, you know. I think I was thinking about naked women when I was 11 or 12 years
Yeah.
old, but
Well, like I said, it got my parents at least to laugh, so I just kept going with it. And I think it really started because my mom would sing all the time. She did karaoke, so she was always out there singing for bars when no one else wanted to come up to sing. But she was in a band at one point too. I believe she said it was a cover band.
Yep.
so-
It's called Whiskey Junction.
That's right.
Was the name of the band.
are they still around? The
No,
band?
I don't think so.
No.
The last time I saw their guitarist, he was teaching guitar in Wilmer at Whitney Music. But from there, I guess my earliest memories of metal would be when we first got our Xbox,
Oh,
the very first Xbox series. It came pre-downloaded with one band.
the Union Underground.
Yeah.
I think Eric put that on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through and I put a bunch of CDs that we had on there, and all Mom's karaoke CDs that she had
Mm-hmm.
that had some metal in there.
Yeah.
So I loaded it up with a bunch of metal tracks on there.
For a while, that was the only
So-
one on there, though.
Yeah.
I would sit there and listen to a lot of that. And I would watch the screen thing that they would provide. It was really nice just sitting in my room listening to metal music. What year did that come to us? It was like 2004,
I don't know.
5?
I remember that's how I started getting into metal as well, was with Union Underground. But I go back and listen to that album now, and it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it was like Power
Well,
Man 5000, but worse.
I do.
It was only Power Man 2000. But
Yeah.
It wasn't even up to par.
Power Man 2500.
There you go.
Well, I do remember Eric downloaded a Pantera CD on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
My mom had
Yeah, that
one.
came eventually.
Yeah, Far Beyond Driven, I think it was.
I think so, yeah. But we had a game, Saints Row, and on that game you were able to listen to the music that was on your Xbox. So I would just drive around on that game listening to all the downloaded music. So a lot of that inspiration came from my youth, really, from older brother, mom.
And Mom was always listening to
like Guns
some
N'
rock
Roses.
station, but she was more into like Eagles and, stuff like that. 80s hair rock sometimes. She liked that. But yeah, always listening to some kind of rock and roll. I remember she had an AC/DC tape that we'd listen to. We'd drive up to the lake and we'd put that in. We'd listen to it all the way up there, pretty much all the way back.
Yep.
I forgot which album has Dirty. Is it probably Dirty Deeds? And
Oh yeah.
yeah, because I remember that it was like that and Problem Child and whatnot. And also, when she listened to a lot was Nazareth too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So that was always cool. And now listen to Nazareth now, it's like I think they're a little heavier for that time period.
Hmm.
And my dad has always liked that kind of stuff too. He always, we have different dads. He had like a Aerosmith bootleg tape that he had. And he also had like an Aerosmith live too. So I'd listen to that. It's kind of my first introduction into rock stuff, but not until I got older. Like I heard Pantera. My older brother showed me that, and that kind of just led into everything else. That was during like the upstart of Napster. So like I just go on and I'd like, stuff kind of similar to Pantera, and it kind of showed me like more nu metal stuff at the time. Eventually I got more into like heavier thrash and death metal.
What's interesting, you said earlier, you were talking about how Guns N' Roses was almost like kind of like the transition period for you. And, Guns N' Roses actually came out kind of in a transition period, right? It was like right at the end of hair metal. And I had a different band in here, and one of the guys was a big fan of Guns N' Roses as well. And he actually said something that I didn't realize about him. So, unlike the Appetite for Destruction album, there's like these happy songs, which is like what hair metal is about. Like you couldn't sing in hair metal. You couldn't really sing about negative, emotional shit. But then Appetite for Destruction gets a little heavier and gets a little bit more emotional throughout the album. So it was almost like the perfect album to kind of take people from what used to be, like pre-90s, early 90s, and then into kind of, what became grunge and, heavier shit. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I agree. They kind of like took that whole hair metal thing, a little bit of that image, and just was more fucking raw with it. Their songs, weren't all pretty and glammed up. Their songs were just, kick-ass rock and roll. I think they kind of like took off where Aerosmith left off themselves. Because they went through that transition in the late 80s where they like kind of made, let's be honest here, shitty music, And they kind of had that image of like the older Aerosmith. But I think they took that hair metal thing, but they made it a lot more aggressive, a lot more cooler, I think, to like. For sure.
I can remember the first time I heard a band that sang a little bit like it was hair metal, but the dude came out with like a leather jacket and jeans, was Skid Row.
Yeah.
I can just remember that. That was an image that kind of defined, hey, we're leaving this period and we're getting it. And yeah, Skid Row still is pretty impressive.
The first time I heard the F-bomb in a song was Guns N' Roses song.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's So Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually covered that song when we were still a cover band.
So you guys basically were in a cover band and then just kind of transitioned into Slag? Is that kind of what happened?
No, like
Or
Slag started out as a cover band.
Did it?
Yeah. So like the first few shows we played were just.
And what are you covering? Like what songs?
Oh geez, yeah. We'd cover some Metallica, some Slayer. Shit. What else? We had Ozzy. We had some Ozzy in there. Black Sabbath,
Maiden.
Yep. Iron Maiden.
Some Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana too. Like we were kind of all over the place. We had to have some of the songs that people actually like out in that area.
Sure.
So, once we wrote enough songs, once we had enough originals, then we just kind of like pushed all the covers aside and then just started playing shows with our originals.
Plus, we didn't want to play 3.5 hours a night.
Oh, yeah.
4 hours a night, 3 hours on stage.
Okay.
Holding a guitar for that long sucks, and having to be a singer for that long, doing heavier songs sucks. And after one of our shows, and he got real sick from just having to sing and scream and headbang for 3 hours. We're like, yeah, I think we're done with doing covers. And so we started transitioning over to originals. And the good thing about that is we already had a couple songs that we had written that we actually had in the set list for mixed with our covers. There's like 2 of them, so we're just like, okay, well, let's go and start writing more. And then with our Logan, our guitar player at the time, like we'd have practices where we'd come and we'd do a Friday and a Saturday. And Friday we'd come and we'd have the song riffs, ideas, and the lyrics, and then we'd get everything put together, structured. And then Saturday for the next day we'd come and pretty much polish it up. And then the next week we'd kind of do the same thing. And like for a month and a half there, we were able to kick out 5 more originals or something, and then you're able to put together enough to go start playing shows.
It's a pretty interesting transition that I don't know that a lot of bands make, right? You guys actually started out as a cover band, playing covers. There's a lot of bands that kind of start playing covers, start making money, start playing full night shows, and they don't want to leave that environment. But you guys already had it sounds like, in mind that you're just doing covers long enough so you could write enough of your original music, you can go that way.
Yeah.
So do you guys ever feel like it's the wrong path to go, or
Absolutely
pretty committed
not.
to it?
I love performing, and one of my favorite things to do is, like I said, going out there and making friends and jamming with other bands, seeing them too. Because not only like when you're doing your, your songs, your originals, but like you get to see other bands too.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those dudes are cool. So I see it as a plus. I think I like it better than playing than doing the covers. And plus, you got to bring like so much more shit to shows when you're doing that. Like if you're a cover band, most likely you got to bring all your own lights and your own sound system and all that stuff. And that that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'll bring my my amp and what we have for our stuff, and I'll let the sound man deal with all the lights and all the sound, and I don't have to play for 3.5 hours. Yeah.
How long do you guys usually play now? Like what's a set? An hour long? 45 minutes?
Yeah,
45 minutes
usually
to
like
an hour.
45 minutes, yeah.
And how much music do you have? Like how long could you play if you had to?
Probably an hour.
Yeah, about an hour, give and take.
Cool. Nice. So what's next? Like what's next on the horizon for you? You know where you are now. What do you have in the future?
Currently, yeah, we're just trying to write new music and get into the studio and get those recorded, get them out there in the world, try to promote it a little bit, just get our name out there, try to, keep making friends, keep making connections, keep playing shows.
Yeah.
Where do you record typically?
Well, okay, so our first EP we recorded with Adam Tucker at a Signature Tone Recording in South Minneapolis there, and he does excellent work, but it cost us over $2,000, and that was it was difficult to swing that again. So we, my other band, Bare Knuckle Brawl, they knew this guy, Will Maravellas, at 1459 Studios.
Will's going to come in here. He's going to be my guest soon. I
Oh,
don't remember
all right,
exactly
yeah.
what day. It might be Monday that he's coming in. So yeah, cool, interesting.
Yeah.
So
Small world.
He's no one. He does a lot of work.
he can
here.
produce really good quality, and he does it for a lot cheaper. So
Okay.
we decided to go with him for the next few songs that we recorded, and we might go back to him again, or I don't know. We haven't discussed that part yet. We might record with him and then go back to Adam Tucker to have him master, or maybe we'll try someone else out. I don't know. We like to support the local people, the local recording studios.
Awesome.
Rather than, sending our music out to some guy from Pennsylvania or whatever.
We also have a show coming up in
I was
February.
gonna say, plug the show.
Plug the show. February
Somebody.
21st in St. Cloud. We're playing with some of our friends. Band called Divided Mass. They're actually some guys that are from the same area we are.
Okay.
Some friends of mine. They're pretty decent. They're pretty new at all of them are pretty new except for the guitar player at like doing band stuff, and they've got some pretty decent songs. I'm actually pretty proud of them. A band called Experimental, and they're from Sioux Falls. I've known this guy for a while. I've never met him, but I've known him through Facebook for like 12 years. Finally able to get him out here and do something. And then we're playing, obviously, and then headlining is our buddies from a band called Junkyard Hooligans.
Love those guys.
Those guys are fun.
Yeah, they're awesome. And their bass player, Tom, is also in Rust Bucket. And if you haven't listened to Rust Bucket, I suggest you do because they are really good.
Also love those dudes.
Like what kind of music are they?
Oh, they're like stoner stuff.
Stoner stuff?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I was going to say, they're kind of like, to me, they're kind of like a mix in between like Clutch and Red Fang, if you've ever heard of Red Fang.
I haven't, but I know Clutch.
Okay.
Okay.
That will give you at least a basis. So go and check out Red Fang because
Red
like
Fang.
if you mix those two bands, that's Rust Bucket. They're really fucking badass.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then March 14th, we're back again at the Keller Bar in St. Cloud. We play there all the time.
Yep.
Nice.
And that one, I wish I could plug it, but I don't remember all the band names because none of the bands I've ever heard of or played with before.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Somebody set that up for me, and she said, "Here's the bands." I'm like, "Oh, I never heard of any of them." So I can look it up here, but
Who's setting it up? Tempest?
yes,
Okay.
yep, she set it up.
Trying to get Tempest on here too. So very, very busy human being though.
Oh yeah. She's a badass too.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I remember meeting Tempest was when we were playing the Skyway and like the second stage was getting shit on by the main stage. Like there was no mics, no cables, no nothing. And then here walks in Tempest with like all of her bags with microphones and cables and everything. She was like, I'm not even getting paid for this. I just showed up because I knew this stage was going to get shit on. So I'm here to save your fucking asses.
It's cool.
All right, here goes. We headline that show, and then a band called Mishi Panu opens. Never heard of them. Followed by Groovin' X,
Okay.
and
They're back
then
together.
yeah, and then a band,
So it used to be Groovin' Burger, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
and then a band called The Unholy.
Hmm.
So,
Sweet.
and that's March 14th. And that's all we have for right now. We're trying to set something up in April with some of our buddies from Telekinetic Overdrive.
Nice.
And hopefully Trigger Mata. But we haven't hit up Trigger Mata yet. But yeah. Otherwise than that, we have nothing on the open. Usually we just kind of, a lot of the times we don't have to set up shows. People just reach out to us and like, hey, you guys want to play? All right.
And we always say yes.
Is that right?
Usually.
Usually.
Yeah, they just throw shows at us now.
Well, that's good. If you're a good band and you're reliable and you show up and you do what you say you're going to do, I imagine that's
Weather permitting, that's a shitty thing about living 2 hours away from anywhere is that like,
Sometimes the roads become impassable.
especially during the winter.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So one of the things that I love to do on every episode. So first of all, this is called the Minnesota Music Note. So the idea really is just to kind of like get everybody in Minnesota who's part of the music scene, which means beyond bands. You know, I want sound people, I want venue owners, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want to talk to everybody and hear their story. So it's been really great. I think, I don't even remember how you and I connected, Eric. I think I just saw you posing with a guitar and I was like, you should be on my show. And
I put up, that was that 14th day that I put up.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, I need bands to fill in. And you're like, oh, my band. And then like right after that, Tempest was like, oh, we have the spots filled. So I'm like, oh man, the spots filled up real quick. And
Yeah,
which they
okay.
did, and it was crazy. And then you reached out to me and you're like, hey, okay, well, how about you do my podcast?
okay, cool.
I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get a chance to play a show together.
Yeah,
my band is a cover band, but we have a couple of originals, so we're not necessarily going to walk away from the cover stuff.
Yeah.
But we do love writing original music. So
Cover bands tend to get paid a little more than local bands who just do originals.
And
That's
let's
something
be
we've
real.
noticed.
Cover band is not a dirty word.
Oh, definitely not.
That is not a dirty word.
yeah, well, most of the people that I've had come in so far are actually from different cover bands that I know. But it is really nice to be able to reach into the original music community and get more of that through here too. So the question that I always ask, and that's a great caveat into it, is who should I have next? Who should be the next guest on here? We'll go around the room, and you don't have to limit yourself to one person, but or one band. But shout out some names of who you think would be great to be on the
Plug your
Minnesota
buddies,
Music
man.
Note.
Plug your band.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you
he
should
already did, but like, yeah, you could throw your band into the hat there.
Yeah, you should get bare knuckle brawl on here.
There you go.
But also like our buddies in Rad Enhancer, King Goro, Telekinetic Overdrive.
Fuck yeah.
We love
that
those
was
guys.
TKO.
A guy who was like a really in the music scene, and he's like really hits too with like activism and being really active in the community is Tom Tier.
Oh yeah.
If you get him
Absolutely.
on, that guy, excellent drummer, has been in 10,000 bands. He drives for bands and stuff too. So if I could have any bands, Inhuman Scourge, Marrow
Yes.
from
Yes.
Brainerd.
Oh, yeah.
Marrow, they're really cool. Like I said, Rad Enhancer, King Goro. Those are the fun bands, but like actual like legit, like I think Marrow is 100% like those guys are really, really good. Their songs are
Very-
really, really well, and like their stage presence and everything they do is excellent. So
Oh, yeah.
I think like they're like the professional band that hasn't hit it big yet. But I mean, great people, and if that's the choice I'd have on, it's probably Marrow, and it's spelled with a V, MVRROW.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, when it gets closer and I start looking at those names, I'll probably be like, "Hey, man, who are these people?" And maybe even ask you to connect me sometimes if I can figure out who they are, find them. But yeah, let's keep going around the room.
We're just gonna keep plugging local bands, right?
Rock and roll,
Okay,
man, that's what it's
So-
all about. The Minnesota music scene. So
They've already mentioned most of them, but one that I can think of right now that has not been plugged yet, our boys in IPK,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Impossible Prom Kings.
okay,
Hunter is really our boy in that band. Like, we love the band themselves, like, and everybody in that band, but like Hunter is really the reason why we know that band. And he's a really fucking cool, chill dude.
okay,
And he's super easy to talk to. Their music is, I don't know how you would describe them, because most of the bands that we play with are like metal bands, but they're not really metal. They're kind of more of like, I don't know, like the emo or scene kind of band. But they're well put together.
okay. Like a
who
Pierce
else?
the Veil kind of vibe, or
A little more punky, I would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little more on the punky side than the metal side.
okay, cool, awesome.
Levi.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Levi, who you got?
They named him.
Oh yeah, Bong Reaper.
Oh yeah, Bong
Bong
Reaper.
Yeah, those boys.
Hell yeah.
Reaper. Yeah, heard of
not
those
only
guys,
not
too.
only do they have the coolest name ever for a band, but they're cool. They have some really cool songs too. They're like a stoner rock. Obviously, a fucking Bong Reaper, you're going to be a stoner rock band. But man, those guys are fun. I love playing with them.
Speaking of stoner rock, you guys smelled awesome when you came in today.
Yeah,
I just wanted to share that with you.
yeah. I took a big old rip before I came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't do any sort of band outings without inspiration. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Oh, and
Can't go sit in the room for an hour without, getting prepped and ready.
my rhythm guitarist will be upset with me if I don't. My other rhythm guitarist in my other band will be upset with me if I don't plug the whole TCT thing, Twin Cities Thrash. We're trying to basically create a thrash scene in the Twin Cities, because like there aren't that many thrash metal bands around. Like hardcore is really big around here. Crust punk. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. You got your death metal, you got your deathcore, metalcore, all that stuff, but the thrash bands seem to be pretty few and far between. So we're trying to come together and actually create a Twin Cities thrash metal scene.
Well,
Good band.
I definitely want to have that conversation. That
Yeah.
sounds very interesting.
Major Malfunction is a good thrash band.
Yeah, Major Malfunction. They're a good young thrash metal band. They're very talented. They're very new. Yeah, they kick ass.
Yeah, lots of energy. Their music is. They're not like, well, their music's more activist too. Like they're really spoken out and that kind of stuff. The fucking lyrics, their singer Nate is an awesome guy. I like their message. They're fun. They hit hard. Their songs are fast. Guitar solos kick ass.
Nice.
Definitely really rad. And plug also Josh Kellerman. He is in a band called Die Hardcore, but also more of his work is like promoting and
Putting shows together.
Yeah.
putting shows together. Yeah, and like just he also has a radio show on The Road of All Evil on KFAI.
Okay.
He does radio for there too. That's actually tomorrow night, Sunday night. No, tonight actually. Yeah, it's Saturday night. He's having that show.
Cool. Oh, he
But,
sounds like a great guy to have too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy because he has his fingers in everything. You know, like he knows all the bands. He's been around for a while, so like he knows all the bands and you know, knows all the venues.
He's not related to the Kellerman family that owns the Keller Bar, though, is he?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
I think Bob Kellerman is the guy
Yeah.
who does all the booking. Now, Levi, did you get a chance to actually recommend a band or?
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
yeah. Let's hit it back over to you then, man.
I wanted to say War Party. I really love those
okay,
guys.
okay.
Their music.
I've actually talked to those guys over the internet quite a bit, but never really. I may have actually invited them, but I don't know.
Well,
That's cool.
Definitely come here.
Okay,
'cause they-
cool dudes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make really good music too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's their music exactly like?
It's like a hard rock. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Hard
hard
rock.
rock. But they're like, it's 3 Indian dudes. So, like, they get up on stage with their war paint on, which makes you think, oh, dude, we're going to see a death metal Indian band. Yeah. No. And then, like, their singer even comes out and he's like, if you think you're going to hear some death metal right now, we are going to disappoint you.
Have you guys seen Alien Weaponry?
No, but that
I've
sounds-
I've heard of them.
I have heard
Seen
their
it on
music. Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, so they opened up for Avatar this year, and holy shit, they were so amazing. They're from New Zealand, and
Yeah.
they're all actually from like the native tribes, and they have
I
like
showed you that.
face tattoos, and
I had heard them before.
the drummer came out and just started doing like the haka, where he's like yelling, you know, and it was like really intense, and that's how they started their whole first song.
Awesome.
I think most of
Really,
their
really
lyrics,
highly recommend that band. They're only a 3-piece, but they go hard.
and then most of their
I
lyrics are
enjoy it.
in that native language as
Most
well,
of
right?
them are, yeah.
Yeah.
But then some of their latest song, one of their latest songs, they had Randy Blythe actually do. guest
hell
lyrics.
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so they're making it, I guess.
I've
Well,
got
awesome, guys.
Making a splash.
I've got one other band that I know if I don't plug them, I'm probably going to get kicked in the nuts because I was in the band for like a short, brief bit, and so was Eric, but our boys in Metal Box. It's the cover band that I was in for like a short, brief bit. Eric was in the band for like a short, brief bit as well. And their drummer is actually our old drummer, Nick.
Nice.
So them dudes are really cool. Their bass player John is like a good buddy of mine. Like ever since me and him started chatting about music, like we hit it off. So they would also be a decent band to get up here if you can get them up here.
Cool.
Oh, that reminds me. I also want to plug our Pot Festival show that we have in September. We're going to be hosting that. Well, not hosting, but we're going to be there every year that they have it. And
At least that's what they told us.
That, yeah. That's what Angela
This will be the
said.
first one.
Second one.
Second one this year.
second
Okay,
one
cool.
coming up
That's
in
in September, huh?
Yep.
Nice. So I'd love to get in touch if you guys get me in touch with the people who are organizing it and have them on the show so they can actually talk about the show as well. So,
The bass player from Metal Box.
oh, really?
Yep, John. He's
Okay.
part of like the Minnesota Cannabis for Veterans
Okay.
coalition, and he's big into the advocating for like vets and cannabis and just like
That's cool. I'm a vet as well.
he
So.
does a bunch of shit for the community. So he's like
Nice.
a really good dude to get in contact with. But
Nice.
he's not even the one that actually set up that show. I mean, he was,
helped a
but
lot.
he kind of got pushed out of the way, or not necessarily pushed out of the way, but like he started it and then somebody took over. And that person would have been Angela. I forget her last name right now. She's the weed mother of Minnesota.
Weed mother?
Yeah, that's
Nice.
that's kind of how she described herself the whole day, was like the weed mother of Minnesota.
Okay. Sounds like an interesting character to,
She is. She's
to have around
She's
as well,
really
huh?
cool.
Yeah? Weed mother.
yeah.
She went around the festival
That's a
with
great
like
band name.
Yeah, Weed Mother.
yeah, weed mother.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm taking that. Dibs.
Awesome, guys. Well, before we wrap up, I want to take a BTS shot of all of us. If that's cool. So we can make this work. Get everybody in there. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. All right. Sweet. Well, this has been
I know
fun,
you're a
guys.
drummer because it doesn't go past 4.
Oh man.
It took me a couple years to even be able to count that high. Well, awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for doing this. Thanks for
it's
making
fun.
the trip
Yeah.
out. And I mean, I guess you were here in town anyways. But it's good that you stayed over, and I'm glad we were able to make this happen.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you guys at a show.
Yeah. Hopefully
yeah.
sometime.
Now
hopefully
you're in my feeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out when you guys are playing somewhere, and maybe
Awesome.
we'll be on the same ticket sometime.
That'd be fun.
That would be
That'd be a
awesome.
hell of a lot of fun.
Right.
Hey there, Minnesota music family. If I haven't personally reached out to you yet, consider this your 100% official invitation to join me on the Minnesota Music Note. I'm Will McLeod, co-founder of the podcast crew here in beautiful Robbinsdale, host of the show, and the guy behind the kit for the band Hits and the Misses. I started this podcast because I want to get to know the people who make our scene tick. Whether you're fronting a band, spinning hip-hop, running sound, booking shows, running shows, or teaching the next generation of talent, your story belongs here. We've had everyone from videographers to festival organizers on the mic, and we're just getting started. It doesn't matter if you're playing arenas or just making magic in your basement. If you're part of the Minnesota music community, I want to chat. Slide into my DMs or hit the email below, and let's hang out and talk shop.